Hi everybody, I'm Mr. Mitch Friesen. I am an ELA teacher here at FRC. I teach in the outdoor portables. I'm the outside Mr. Friesen, not the inside Mr. Friesen. And I'm helping out with March Madness. I'm going to be reading this book. It's called Unashamed, or a section of it, by Harry Baker. And Harry Baker is a British poet. He's a contemporary poet. He's kicking around right now, currently on tour, I think, reading his poetry. You can find him on Instagram at Harry Baker Poet. And he's going to appear right here on my hand. Mr. Arksey's going to edit that in. Thank you, Mr. Arksey. The reason I chose this book is I've been reading a lot of his poetry, and he kind of just popped up in my life on Instagram one day, and I started following him, and I think his stuff is incredible and touching and hilarious and just brilliant fun. So I'm going to read a poem called Maybe. And it's a couple pages. It should take a couple minutes. Enjoy. Maybe it's because they don't understand you. Maybe it's because they do and they're afraid of what they see. Maybe it's because you are not normal. Maybe normal's not the thing you need to be. Maybe today will be a good day. Maybe today feels like it was way too close to call. Maybe one day you will look back and laugh at this. Maybe one day you will not look back at all. Maybe it feels like it's getting harder. Maybe you're still waiting for that day to come around. Maybe it's because I'm a Londoner that I believe you can't stop building bridges just because one is falling down. Right now, this feels like everything. Right now, it always is. It's only afterwards that we can see there's more than this. You can be informed by this without being formed by this. Just as a calm before the storm, there is a dark before the dawn in this. Whoever told you must shrink to fit in got their filter wrong. We are not sculptures to be chipped away, but platforms to be built upon. If somehow this changes you, let it be in resilience and knowing that you made it through. Do not give them an inkling of a thicker skin. If we stop listening, how can the truth that permeates start sinking in? Not every day is a battle. Not every part of life's a war. It is the times that lie between that need to be worth fighting for. Remember what this moment is. You may not have chosen this, but one day you will be someone who rose from it. When you see the same in others, you can notice this, to show them this. There's no eclipse without some kind of glow in it. Those that know you know to love you. Those that love you love to know you. Those that don't, they forfeit the right to get to be the ones that mold you. If you ever meet the old you, say, I come from what you go through. There will be times when that is all you have to hold to. There will be times you cannot help but cry, and times you cry for help. There will be times that you resist or are too tired to rebel. When it takes everything to not just be defined by someone else, you can start by showing kindness to yourself. That's one of Harry's more serious, touching poems, and I think it's a wonderful example of his writing. But if you like silly or clever or wordplay, Harry Baker's the guy for you. I would also suggest checking out this one called Knees. And he's got a little bit of something kind of for everybody, whether you're love struck, in a goofy mood, or just need some introspection, or a reminder to just be kind to yourself, like Maybe tells us at the end.
Hello, my name is Ryan Woods. I'm an educational assistant here. You may have seen me around halls, often pushing bikes. The book I want to share with you is called The Final Empire, Mistborn, Book 1, by Brandon Sanderson. On a world where ash falls from the sky, the sun is red, and there's a mysterious mist that comes out at night, there is an empire, the Final Empire, that has ruled for 1,000 years. For 1,000 years, the peasants, known as Ska, have been slaved and oppressed by the nobility and their emperor, the immortal Lord Ruler. The nobility have special powers called allomancy that they use to hold power over the Ska. Finn is a Ska from the streets of Luthadel, the capital city. She's a thief with a lot of luck. Everything changes when she meets Kelsier, a Ska with a crew wanting to lead an uprising. The Ska have tried to rebel many times, but because of Allomancy, every rebellion has failed. Will this time be any different? This book has a bit of everything: fantasy, mystery, compelling characters, humor, and even some Regency-era balls. It's the first of a series of 3 books, but it's still great on its own. The author is an exceptional fantasy writer who has published many standalone books in a series that all takes place in the same universe, called the Cosmere. And now I'll read you a passage from the book. By day, Luthadel was a blackened city, scorched by soot and red sunlight. It was hard, distinct, and oppressive. At night, however, the mists came to blur and obscure. High noble keeps became ghostly, looming silhouettes. Streets seemed to grow more narrow in the fog, every thoroughfare becoming a lonely, dangerous alleyway. Even noblemen and thieves were apprehensive about going out at night. It took a strong heart to brave the foreboding misty silence. The dark city at night was a place for the desperate and the foolhardy. It was a land of swirling mystery and strange creatures. Kelsier turned and walked back up onto the roof's ledge. Then he jumped off the building. Mist curled in the air around him. He burned steel, second of the basic allomantic metals. Translucent blue lines sprang into existence around him, visible only to his eyes. Each one led from the center of his chest, out to a nearby source of metal. The lines were all relatively faint, a sign that they pointed to metal sources that were small. Door hinges, nails, and other bits. The type of source metal didn't matter. Burning iron or steel would point blue lines at all kinds of metal, assuming they were close enough and large enough to be noticeable. Kelsier chose the line that pointed directly beneath him, towards his coin. Burning steel, he pushed against the coin. His descent immediately stopped, and he was thrown back up into the air in the opposite direction, along the blue line. He reached out to the side, selected a passing window clasp, and pushed against it, angling himself to the side. The careful nudge sent him up and over the lip of the building, directly across the street from Vin's lair. Kelsier landed with a lithe step, falling into a crouch and running across the building's peaked roof. He paused in the darkness at the other side, peering through the swirling air. He burned tin and felt it flare to life in his chest, enhancing his senses. Suddenly the mist seemed less deep. It wasn't that the night around him grew any lighter. His ability to perceive simply increased. In the distance to the north, he could just barely make out a large structure. Keep Venture. Kelsier left his tin on. It burned slowly, and he probably didn't need to worry about running out. As he stood, the mists curled slightly around his body. They twisted and spun, running in a slight, barely noticeable current beside him. The mists knew him. They claimed him. They could sense allomancy. He jumped, pushing against a metal chimney behind him, sending himself in a wide horizontal leap. He tossed a coin even as he jumped, the tiny bit of metal flickering through the darkness and fog. He pushed against the coin before it hit the ground, the force of his weight driving it downward in a sharp motion. As soon as it hit the cobblestones, Kelsier's pushing forced him upward, turning the second half of his leap into a graceful arc. Kelsier landed on another peaked wooden rooftop. Steel pushing and iron pulling were the first things that Gemmel had taught him. When you push on something, it's like you're throwing your weight against it, the old lunatic had said. And you can't change how much you weigh. You're an allomancer, not some northern mystic. Don't pull on something that weighs less than you unless you want it to come flying at you. And don't push on something heavier than you unless you want it to get tossed in the other direction. Kelsier scratched his scars, then pulled his mistcloak tight as he crouched on the roof, the wooden grain biting his unshod toes. He often wished that burning tin didn't enhance all of his senses, or at least not all of them at once. He needed the improved eyesight to see in the darkness, and he made good use of the improved hearing as well. However, burning tin made the night seem even more chilly to his overly sensitive skin, and his feet registered every pebble and wooden ripple they touched. Keep Venture rose before him. Compared with the murky city, the keep seemed to blaze with light. High nobles kept different schedules from regular people. The ability to afford, even squander, lamp oil and candles meant that the wealthy didn't have to bow before the whims of season or sun. and that is Mistborn. I hope you are interested and want to give it a try. Enjoy. Thank you.